Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to another important government scheme session. The scheme that we are going to cover today, it is ATAL Bhujal Yojana, also known as ATAL JAL. And why we are saying it is important? Because through the analysis of previous year paper, we have seen that any scheme that has been recently launched or was in news for past 1 year, it becomes important from examination point of view and as a proof as well. See, this particular scheme, it was in your NABARD Grade A NABARD Grade A 2021 as well. All right, so that is why we are also covering it. And but before starting, to our new audience, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can also join our Telegram channel to get the PDF of every lecture that we provide here on YouTube, and the link of our Telegram channel you can find in the description box below. All right, so see, if I talk about India contributes to 2.4% of total landmass of the earth, right? But if I talk about its population, so India, it contributes approximately 17% to the world's population. You're looking at how much stress do we have on our resources here in India, right? Apart from that, not only this ratio, but if we talk about farming, in this what happens, for example, due to the advancement of technology, many now electronic tube wells have been made, right? And now there are many methods from which the farmer, he can extract the groundwater to use it in the field, right, for irrigation. Now what happens, let's talk about MSP. So the MSP, that is the minimum support price given by the government. So sugar cane as well as for example, right, I'm giving of these two, they come under MSP. Now these two require a lot of water, and in fact India, it produces so much of it that we literally have to export it. Now what happened, we are not just exporting this crop, but we are also exporting our groundwater with it, which has been used to develop these crops. And not only the farmers, we people who are living in the urban areas, we are also exploiting this groundwater because there is scarcity of water in the urban areas, of course, and that is why what we do, we have now made bore wells at home and now we extract that groundwater. So this so much stress now have been developed that now people are literally dying for water, and that is why this scheme ATAL Bhujal Yojana, it was launched with this perspective. ATAL, basically the government decided to dedicate this scheme to the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, our former Prime Minister, because he was pretty much focused on the this issue of water scarcity, and that is why this scheme has been launched. Here the word Bhujal, it is an Hindi word. Bhu means earth. Alright, so this Bhu means earth, and then Jal, of course, it means water. So what is Bhujal? The water that is present inside the earth, that is the groundwater here we are talking about, and Yojana is the scheme of it, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to discuss about the basic things that we always do. The first dimension that you should know, that the scheme, when was the scheme launched? So this was launched in 2019. It was announced in 18, but then launching year, it was 2019. Now what happened, the ministry, so under which ministry it comes? It comes under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. Talking about its type, so it is a center sector scheme. What is a center sector scheme? We have already done so many times. For the people who are watching it for the first time, sector schemes are such schemes in which the center government, it gives the 100% funding to the particular scheme. In case of so here we have 100% funding by the GOI, that is Government of India. Then we have one more, that is center sponsored scheme. In such scheme, sponsored scheme, so in such schemes what happens, the government, it pays approximately 60%. Well, the ratio is 60-40, that is 60 will be governed by the central government and 40 will be given by the state government. And then we have different sections in that, and we don't have to much go deeper in that. For now we have to understand what is center sector scheme. All right, now the next dimensions, important dimensions that you should know about this scheme and has been asked in examinations as well, that what are the funds that have been allocated for it, right? So the funds here, that is 6,000 crore, and this 6,000 crore, as we know that, we know that is a center sector scheme. Alright, so 3,000 would be definitely given by the center government, but then another 3,000 we have taken as a loan from the World Bank. All right, so this is a differentiation that you have to understand, and this help by the World Bank, it is we have to return it because we have taken it as a loan. All right, so this 6,000 crore, where will it come from? 3,000 will be funded by the central government, while 3,000 we have taken loan from the World Bank. All right, another thing that you should know, what is the time period, means what is the basic target here that the government is talking about the scheme. So 5 years target has been taken from the financial year 2020, 2021 to 2024, 2025. All right, so this is the target, the time period of it, with an objective. So what is the objective? Because we have understand what is the backstory to this, now it is easier to remember. The objective here is for the long term, means we are looking at a long term sustainability of groundwater resources. We have to protect these resources because if they deplete, there would be water scarcity in India, which has already begun, but we could reach to that stage where we cannot recover from it, and that is why the objective, it is for the long term sustainability of such groundwater resources. Coming to what is the aim of this objective, so that is the objective is a long term. We are talking about the aim here of this scheme. It is to improve groundwater management. So we have to improve our management, how we are managing the use of these groundwater through community participation in identified priority. What does it mean? Community participation means we have to include people in this. Right, that is how the things are going to do in this scheme. Right, you cannot just make a rule that now farmers, they can't extract groundwater, right, or they can limit there, until unless you improve the sense of responsibility, you encourage them to do so, they are not going to do so. So here the aim, it is to involve the community also, right. So here we have different organizations that have already been formed. For example, one such we have Participatory Irrigation Management. What happens in participatory? That is participation of someone, right? Irrigation is what? Artificial application of water, and management is the management. So what happens in participatory irrigation management? The government as well as the local people of the area where the irrigation water that has to be needed or that is provided by the government, they are interdependent on each other. Why this type of management has been modified or evolved, so that the people, they have a sense of responsibility among them. Apart from that, we also have water user associations. This is also an NGO that are formed that looks after that there is the sustainable use of water. All right, so here the aim is to do everything that you could do to improve the management of groundwater with the help of community participation. Next is talking about beneficiary. So see, for now there have been 7 states that have been targeted under this. So what are these states? Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Alright, and in total there are 78 districts that will be covered under this scheme. So what is this? See, basically government has set some criteria where the scarcity of water is quite alarming, and there are some other criteria, dimensions that they had taken into consideration before finalizing that yes, these 7 states, they need the immediate attention for conserving or for the management of groundwater, right? So here in fact Punjab state, they also then wrote a letter to the government to include Punjab as well, but the dimensions which the government have made, the Punjabi did not fall under it, so that is why that was not included. But yes, you should remember these 7 states, they fall under this category. These are the beneficiaries of this scheme. Next, let's look at what are the different, there are 2 important components under this scheme. The first one is the institutional strengthening. What does it mean? And capacity building. Capacity building is nothing but the skill development. Here the institutional strengthening, it means to make such rules, framework, to have such frameworks that of course will include, as the aim suggested, the common people in the particular schemes. Alright, so that is the institutional strengthening and capacity building. All right, next is about the incentive component. What does it mean? See, we know that 6,000 crore will be funded to the under this scheme, and what we know that 7 states are included. So see, every state, every gram panchayat, they want to evolve, right? They want to develop. What would happen here, the concept the government has applied is, whichever state or whichever district, because we have seen 78 districts will be a part of it, so whichever district it would perform well under this category, who would look after the better ground management, they would have the better funding. So here, so you have given incentive to the particular district or a particular area that if you perform well under this category, under this Yojana, we will give you more funding. So here 2 components are made. First of all, better frameworks to be made, and next is to incentive component for the states, all right, to for achievement in improved groundwater management. I hope this is clear to you all. Right, now let's move ahead and look at what are the key features of this scheme. All right, so starting with institutional strengthening, that we already know, we need some good frameworks, and that too which include the community in it. We cannot just give orders, we have to involve the community when we want something that is related to nature, right? Next is capacity building for stakeholders at different levels of panchayat, means gram panchayat and other different levels that we have which take care of a particular area, that we have to build the capacity building, right? We have to train them, we have to tell them what are the alternatives or how efficiently can we use the water. We need to give them that training. Next is realistic water budgeting, all right, so have some through the analysis done, through the different data that have been provided, we can actually have a good water budgeting in the particular area, instead of vaguely distributing water resources anywhere and having a vague budget, right? Next is to convergence of various ongoing new schemes of the GOI and state government. What does it mean? So there are many schemes that are already going on, right? For example, if you go for even the water user association, they have been developed for so much time, right? What does it mean? It means that we can converge whatever new schemes that are related to water and irrigation, we can converge them, so that what happens, there is a much better prospect to it, because the funding that would be clubbed, right? So the outcome, it would be better. Next is the efficient use of available groundwater resources. How efficient, how well we can use. See, there are the micro irrigation, it will play a major role in it. What is micro irrigation? You must have heard of drip irrigation, or if you have not, I'll explain you. We have sprinkle irrigation. So these comes under the micro irrigation. These are the you can say efficient way. What is drip irrigation? A pipeline, it is set, and in this pipeline is set along with plants, and there is a hole in it. So drop by drop water, it is given to the root zones of plant, right? So there is no wastage of water. Along with that, in sprinkle irrigation, what happens, the water, they are injected at the above direction, and then the water, it falls down as rainfall, all right? So these are the efficient way in which water consumption is quite less by the plants. So we can use the efficient way. These are the key features, and this you can also link with this capacity building to tell them, to aware people that how efficiently we can use water. So these are the key features. Now let's see that why did we study. See, basically Haryana, as I said before, what the target is to give incentives to the state. So how much you perform, how well you perform, the more money you will get, right? So here Haryana aims to reduce groundwater depletion by 15% in 5 years. That's the target that the Haryana has aimed for now, right? But then again, in NABARD also, this was in the question came from this, right? So you can assume that yes, this is something important that can be asked in examination, right? So let's have a quick revision of whatever we have studied. We'll start with the launch year. So the launch year of this scheme, it was 2019, and the ministry it comes under is Ministry of Jal Shakti. The type of scheme, it is center sector scheme, and the aim is to improve groundwater management, right? Then we have objective, that is long-term sustainability of groundwater resources. Then beneficiaries, we have 7 states that we have seen, right? Then components, if we talk about component, one was for the institutional strengthening, right? And one we had, that was to incentivize states, right? Next is about the funds. So 6 6,000 crore has been allocated, 3,000 by the central government, and rest 3 will be will take loan. We have taken loan from the World Bank. Next is target, that is 5 years, and features institutional strengthening. Yes, then we have capacity building of stakeholders at different levels, right? Then we have realistic water budgeting, right? Then we also had preparation of water. See, this preparation of water security plans, it comes under realistic water budgeting only, all right? How realistic are water budgeting? That would be that will be there. It would be based on whatever water security plans we have for that particular area. Next is convergence of various schemes. We can converge various schemes, and in fact, see, everything is linked if you look at it. The convergence of various schemes, it would obviously help with realistic water budgeting, right? Because every scheme, they would have their different targets, but once all schemes, they are combined together, now they are working for the same phenomena or the same task would be the right word, right? So same task, then what would happen? There would be a realistic water budgeting for it, right? And next is efficient use of available groundwater resources. We have seen drip irrigation, we have seen sprinkle irrigation, right? So these are the methods, and yeah, that is all for today. This is a summary of this particular scheme, and I hope you understood it. And these are the toppers of the last session that I took. So I asked about who is the present minister of MSME. So Rolly gave the right answer, and she also gave additional information. Then Kiran said right answer, and welcome. And then we have Fenny said the correct answer, and then Anshi, thank you. Then we have Ayushi said the right answer, Anurag said the right answer, Aditi said the right answer, we have Shweta Smita said the right answer, Sonu said the right answer, then Edge and family also said the right answer. Congratulations to you all. Your preparation is going really good, and I'm really proud of you. And yeah, I asked one question also, that should I take quiz, because one of the students, he has asked to do one quiz of all the sessions that I've taken till now, and then I asked you if I should. Then Sagar, he agreed with it, and there's one more like, so I hope someone else is also agreeing for the quiz. Prablin also said that I should conduct a quiz, and Mahesh also said. So yeah, let's take a quiz, right? So today is Monday. What I'll do this Monday, and then I'll have Thursday, and then Wednesday I'll have next session on Wednesday, yeah, and then I have on Friday. So on Friday I'll take one quiz. I'll be live at 10 a.m. So on Friday live at 10 a.m. I'll take one quiz according to how the central regulatory bodies are, especially focusing on RBI, because that is the nearest examination for now, which it is assumed that it will be the nearest. Or so what I'll do, so on Friday you'll have your quiz, so be ready with it. Do come live, and let's see how much do you remember, right? So yeah, that is homework for today for you all. That is, what is the name of the mission that has been launched to provide safe and adequate drinking water through individual household connection by 2014 to all household in rural areas. And I'll also be making one video on this as well. So you comment down that what is the name of the mission, what is the mission that will provide the drinking water to all the rural household by 2024. The target is 2024, right? You comment down below, and I'll definitely give shout out to all the toppers. So yeah, that is all for today. If you want me to cover any scheme, you tell me. If you have any doubt, write down. I'll definitely reply to them, and if not in there, I'll take it the doubt in my next session. So thank you until then, and all the very best for your examination. Thank you.